Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live class. My name is Eden. Lots of you joining the Zoom room. Welcome, Niha. Welcome, Nitesh. Welcome, Shailendra. Welcome, Anju, Shashi Khan, Chandru. Welcome. Hope you all had a wonderful day. And if you are joining in the chat, welcome. Let me know where you're joining from, how your day went. Hello, Agnes. Fayak, you can join in the Zoom room if you would like. Hi, Ganga, your hands raised. How are you? Hello, we can't hear you. You are muted. Can you unmute? We still can't hear you, Ganga. Hi, Nitesh.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. How was your day?
Hello, ma'am. Now hearing?
Yes, I can hear you now, Ganga. How are you?
I am good, ma'am. This is my first class, ma'am.
Welcome.
That's why I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. We're all here to learn, to share, to talk.
Your
Did you have
voice is not audible.
Can you hear me now?
Voice is break, ma'am.
My voice is breaking.
Now
Maybe
hear. Now, okay, ma'am.
Did I say your name right? Is it
Okay.
Ganga? How do I say your name? Ganga?
Yeah, ma'am.
Ganga.
Ganga. Yes.
Ganga. Where are you joining from?
Today, ma'am, I am from city in Bangalore, Karnataka, ma'am.
Okay, welcome. That's great. And so don't be shy, Ganga. Join in. We're going to have a conversation class today and a reading class. So please join in. It's great to have you. We're going to think a little bit about food today. Okay. So maybe you can share what you ate today, things like that. That would be great.
Okay, ma'am.
And sorry, Nitesh, I didn't hear you. Did you have a good day, Nitesh? I heard that you had a good day, but what did you do today? Are you there, Nitesh? It's okay if you can't speak now. Hi, Shailendra.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
I am all right, ma'am. Good to see you again. How are you?
I'm good. Did you have a good day?
Yes, ma'am. As usual, office, then home again.
Okay, good. Did you do some cycling today?
Yes, ma'am. I daily use cycle for going to gym, going to the gym. Yeah,
okay.
in the morning.
In the morning, you do that before work?
Yes, yes.
You do it every day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. For commuting small distances and for going to the gym, I use cycle only. Yeah.
Great, fantastic. So we're going to do a topic like we did last time, thinking of a news article.
Okay.
But before we look at the news article, we're going to think a little bit about the topic.
Ma'am.
Yes, Chandra.
Before that, ma'am, I have two sentences. Please check it whether they are right or not. Ma'am, first is what is the class timings? Is it correct, ma'am? What is the class timings?
What are the class timings if it's plural? Or you can say what is the class, what's the timing of the class, or what are the class timings?
Okay, ma'am, if I want to check for only one class, then?
Yeah, you can just say what's the time of the class.
What's the time of the class? Okay.
Yeah.
And ma'am, the second one, I worked till 12 a.m. last night.
Till 2 a.m.?
12.
Till 12 a.m. Yeah, you can say that I worked until midnight. Either's fine.
I worked until midnight.
Yeah, or you can say until 12 a.m. as well. Both is fine.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
No problem. Does anyone else have any other questions? Let me know. I'll check the chat. If anyone has any questions, you can write it in the chat. Hello, Sonia. Welcome. Welcome, Nobai. You can join us in the Zoom room. I think you already have. Welcome. Is it Nobai? Is that how I say your name?
Yes,
welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nobai, welcome. Thank you for joining. So we are going to do a topic around food. We're thinking about food, the food that we eat, but also the article is about how people from the past cook their food. So there's going to be a little bit of scientific vocabulary today. Umar says, what time to class? What time to class? Well, this class starts at 7 p.m. IST time. It's an hour long every Thursday. Okay. If anyone has any other questions, please ask. It doesn't have to be on the topic. If you have questions and you want to ask them, that's fine. Or if there's a topic that you want to ask your other learners as well, think of the other learners as a tool, maybe advice or something that you want to ask. So I encourage questions in this class. But let's think of the first question that I want to ask, a simple question. Do you prefer raw food or cooked food? What is better? So it might take a while for my screen to show. So Manisha, welcome. What do you think? Do you prefer cooked food or raw food? Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, I want take both foods, raw food also and cooked food also, because we can't eat all foods in a raw form.
That's true. And what about food where you can eat it in raw form and in cooked form? Which do you prefer?
Like beetroot and carrot and cucumber also. We can eat in raw form. Yes, ma'am.
Do you prefer, what do you prefer your vegetables? Do you prefer them cooked or uncooked? Or do you like both? For taste or health?
Like underground vegetables, I prefer to eat in raw form.
Okay.
But yeah, but like pods, different types of pods, and some green vegetables also. I like to eat in cooked, because some green vegetables also we can eat in raw form, but not all the green vegetables also we can't eat.
And when you can choose, is it based on health or taste?
Pardon, ma'am?
Or when you can choose to eat it raw or cooked, is it based on taste or what you feel like, health? Okay.
Yeah, there means there are many there is a lot of difference between when we eat raw vegetables and cooked. Raw vegetables are cooked food is soft and it tastes better than raw, and and we while cooking we add many spices, that's it tastes increased.
Okay, those are really good points. Yeah, maybe easier for someone to eat if they're having
and cooked food, ma'am, it is easy to digest, I think so.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they say that we get more vitamins, our body can absorb it. But some great ideas. Some people believe in a raw food diet. I don't know if anyone has any opinions on this. What do you think? Thank you, Manisha. Shalindra, your hands up. What do you think? What do you prefer?
Madam, your voice is not proper. There is some disturbance.
I think it's slow internet today. Not much I can do.
Okay.
It might speed up at some point.
Okay. So, ma'am, I like to eat all the types of food. But, ma'am, for salad, I like to eat raw vegetables like cucumber, tomato, onion, and coriander. These things, these vegetables, I like to eat in a raw form. But, ma'am, it is not possible for us to to eat only raw food because of our food, because of our environment. We can't eat raw food because we have evolved a lot. Earlier, when we used to live like nomadic, like, ma'am, at the beginning of human evaluation, at that time people used to eat raw food. But now, ma'am, we have changed a lot. Our organs have adopted the cooked food, so it is not possible to eat raw food every time. So, ma'am, a mixed diet, I like to eat mixed diet which has portion of raw food and cooked food.
Okay, so you would be against this raw food diet. Is that right? That's something that you wouldn't.
No, ma'am, I am not against, but, ma'am, for me it is impossible to change my diet entirely to raw food, on raw food.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, great ideas. Maybe we can't only digest raw food. Thank you, Shlendra. Niha, welcome. What is your opinion? You prefer raw food, cooked food? You don't have a preference?
You?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also fine, ma'am.
So what do you think?
In my opinion, health-wise, raw food is better, ma'am.
Okay.
We add in cooked food we added so much of salt, spices, and so much of items, so that's why it's not healthier to us. Nowadays all are suffering from high BP like sugar. In early stage of age only, children also suffering from sugar, BP. So nowadays people also taking care of their health. But taste wise, cooked food is better. Taste wise, cooked food is better, ma'am. But daily, Shailendra said, like daily we can eat mixed food. Like morning onwards, we can eat raw food like carrot, beetroot, and cucumber. It is healthy for us. In afternoon time, we can eat like curries with rice or chapati.
Yeah, so you like a balance, which is great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you're right. I think if food is cooked, it does break down the carbohydrates, makes it more sugary, which is maybe why it tastes so good. When we cook vegetables, makes it sweeter. But it's also easier to digest. Okay, some really interesting ideas. Does anyone else have any other opinions on this topic? Raw food, you can raise your hand.
Yes.
So thank you, Niha. Ganga, what do you think?
Ma'am, raw food is healthy food, ma'am. radish piles, and digestion. All are health issues, problems solve, ma'am. Cucumber also digestion, good digestion. Carrot also eyes and health problem solve, ma'am. Is also used and mixed foods, ma'am. Cooked food and uncooked food also every day routine eating good for health, ma'am.
It's true. And like Shalendra said, we've been doing it for a long time. Things like bread have been around for thousands of years. So you like the balance based on health. Okay, so issues of health and taste, sort of what people are thinking about. Thank you, Ganga. Anju, what do you think?
You're welcome,
What's
ma'am.
your opinion?
Good evening, ma'am.
Anju, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you?
Good. So what's your opinion? Do you like one
like
or
both.
other based on health, taste? You like both?
like-
Okay, why?
Actually, I like both because certain food types can be eaten in raw form, but
Mhm.
certain food items cannot be eaten in raw form because it will contain hazardous bacteria and all, like
That's a good point.
meat items. So we have to cook it to make it safe for our health. And certain food items can be eaten raw form because if we cook it, it will lose its nutritional value, like fruits, certain vegetables. So I think a balanced diet will be good.
Those are some fantastic points. Very well summarized, Andrew. Thank you. Yeah, you
Thank you,
mentioned
ma'am.
about safety and bacteria. Great points. Yeah, we need to kill the bacteria or the other microorganisms on food, viruses, things like that. Yeah, Shalendra brought up the goblin mode, Oxford word of the year. Yeah, very interesting. Maybe some of you saw that. I'd never heard this phrase before, actually. Did anyone see this in the news, that this goblin mode is the phrase of the year voted by people?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
quite a
Ma'am,
new phrase.
I read it in newspaper, ma'am.
Yeah, what do you think? Had you heard this or seen this phrase before? Do you know what
No,
it
ma'am.
means?
No, ma'am.
I had not either. Do you know what it means?
Yes, ma'am. I read the meaning, but ma'am, I can't recall ma'am, right now, ma'am.
Okay. I kind of know the meaning. I don't know how exact this is, but it's along the lines of being not feeling in the mood to do anything, enjoying being lazy, enjoying doing nothing, and deciding to, I think, just be lazy. Along those lines. I don't know how specific it is, but yeah, an interesting idea that was the one that was voted.
Okay.
So maybe it says something. Yeah.
But ma'am, when I read, ma'am, on internet, ma'am, they have given some different meaning, ma'am, of this goblin mode. Yeah,
Okay.
ma'am.
What definition did you see?
Ma'am, can you check on ma'am internet right now?
Not right now. I'm on the chat.
Okay. Let me check, ma'am. Then I will paste it in our chat box.
Okay. I don't know the phrase very well, so I might be wrong. Shashikant mentioned that nowadays farmers are using a lot of chemical fertilizer, so it's good to have cooked food to neutralize effects of those chemicals and bacteria. Yeah, that's a really good point. Something that people a long time ago didn't have to worry about, all those extra chemicals on food that is affecting our diet. So yes, maybe it breaks down with cooking. Don't know much about that. Yes, Nitesh?
Yeah, ma'am. You talked about goblin mode. So
have you heard this?
Yeah, ma'am, I heard this, and its meaning is a type of behavior like laziness, slovenly. Yeah, sometimes you feel greedy about something or this kind of things.
Yes. Yeah, so Shalendra just posted the definition. The definition's a bit wider than what I said. It's not just about being lazy. It's actually sort of all the bad behavior
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
people usually we would not want to do these things or behave in this way, but it's people embracing it, I guess, embracing laziness and bad behavior and being greedy. Okay, very interesting. Thank you for that, Shalendra. So you also saw that, Nitesh. Do you think it's an interesting word to choose?
No, ma'am. We
Would
don't
this have
like.
been your English word of the year, or would you have chosen something different?
Yeah, ma'am.
Do you like this word? You like this
No,
word?
ma'am. No, no.
Okay. So it's funny. Why do you think people chose this as their favorite word or the word of the year? Why this year?
Yeah, ma'am. It's the word of the year from Oxford University.
Do you think people are becoming or wanting to be lazier? They're happy with being lazier now? Is that why people chose this word? I think it kind of links in with what we talked about last week. We talked about quiet quitting.
Yeah.
For those who remember.
Yeah.
I think, ma'am, it is related with the pandemic. After pandemic, there is a huge change in the behavior of Gen Z.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said last week, Shalendra, people's priorities have changed. They care more about sort of enjoying life rather than having a bad work-life balance. So I guess enjoying being lazy, enjoying resting, enjoying being greedy, not having to worry so much about what's expected.
Yeah.
I guess all these trends are linking in.
Yeah.
But really interesting. Yeah, I like I like it that it rejects social norms and expectations. Oh, well, if people expect me to do something, I'm going to do nothing. Quite interesting. Did anyone else read about this word or see anything about it or have an opinion on this word that was chosen? Andrew, yes?
Ma'am, I have first saw this word in a novel. Harry
In a
Potter.
novel. Okay.
Yeah.
And Harry Potter. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. The word goblin comes from, it's like a monster, kind of a bad little monster.
Yeah,
But
greedy monster.
Yeah. So goblin is like a monster, I guess. Goblin mode. A mode is a way of doing something. So it's being
Yes,
like
so
that.
found of coins, gold coins.
Yeah,
So
exactly. They're greedy. Yeah. What do you think about this meaning that the idea of goblin mode is being greedy, being lazy? Do you like this, Andrew? This idea that there's a word to describe it or a phrase?
I think it's perfect.
And what do you think about the idea that people are maybe wanting to be lazier?
That's not a good idea.
Okay, so it's not for you. That's
No.
interesting phrase. So thanks to Shalendra, we've all learned some maybe slang English terms. Thank you for bringing that up, Shalendra. Does anyone else have any opinions on this phrase? This word of the year from Oxford Dictionary? It was voted by people, so it wasn't chosen by specialists, I don't think. Okay. Niha, your hand's up. Do you have something you want to say? Or was your hand just up from last time? Okay, so we're going to look at a little bit of an article. Welcome, Subash, you can join us. So this article is about food, cooking, and when it started. So before we look at the article, I just want you to imagine what food was like before people cooked, before fires were used. What do you think food was like back then? Would you have enjoyed a raw food diet that ancient humans ate? Anyone have an opinion on that before we look at the article?
Ma'am, only Bear Grylls can eat only raw food.
Only what?
Bear Grylls, ma'am. And, ma'am, have you seen, ma'am, his episodes on Discovery Channel, Bear Grylls?
Ah, yes. Oh yeah, he does eat a lot of raw
Bear
meat.
Grylls.
Yeah.
Bear
Bear
Grylls.
Grylls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bear Grylls. Yeah, he does eat a lot. That's true. I don't know if he actually eats it or if he just does it for the camera. There's been lots of
Yeah.
scandals about him faking it, but yeah, he does try.
Yeah.
It's a bit gross.
Yeah, ma'am. I have seen him eating snakes, camel, crocodile. He can eat anything, ma'am.
Yeah, and he doesn't cook it. And what do you think ancient diets were like? Do you think it would have been enjoyable for us to eat the food that they ate a long time ago?
No, ma'am, because ma'am, our taste buds, our organ are now adopted with this modern food. So, ma'am, I don't think we will be able to enjoy ancient food.
What kind of food do you think they ate a lot of?
Ma'am, as per our ma'am, as ma'am, most of the people like to eat ma'am food with fat, like ma'am, carbohydrate less foods like French fries and other fast foods, because they excite our taste buds. And being a human, we like to eat high calorie food. But ma'am, I know these foods are not good for our health, but ma'am, these foods tempt us.
True. I think even ancient humans, they used to love honey because it was so sugary.
Yeah.
And I guess they needed the high calories, whereas we don't, we have access to it.
Yeah.
Mohammed Raza says, I've subscribed for 1 month, but till now my live class is not activated. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure why. Try and contact the help, see if the help department, see if there's something they can do. There should be a way to get help through the app. It should be working. Okay, so we're going to look at this article. So like I said, quite scientific words, but we're going to think about the meaning of those. So don't worry if a lot of the words are difficult or confusing. Would anyone like to read the first paragraph? Okay, Karanjeet,
Okay.
your hand
Yes,
went up.
ma'am. Yes, I ready to read.
Okay, please read. If there's a word you're not sure of, you can ask me how to pronounce it.
Okay, teacher. Can I start?
Yes, please start.
Okay. Cooking began
600,000.
600,000 years earlier than first thought. New research suggests that using fire to cook food started 6,100 years before previously thought. Archaeologists from the Tel Aviv University's Steinhardt Museum of Natural History in Israel assert that our early ancestors cooked fish with fire 77,000 years ago. The archaeologists claim that these prehistoric humans who lived alongside the banks of the Jordan River in what is present-day northern Israel used fire to cook the huge fish they catch in a nearby lake. They say their finding is the earliest recorded evidence of food being cooked. Until the new discovery, scientists believed the first definitive evidence of cooking was by neither
Neanderthals.
Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens around
170,000
years ago.
Great. Thank you, Karanjeet. Great reading. Thank you. Some really difficult words there. Very scientific words. So what is this article saying? What is the main idea? Can anyone summarize it? It's in the title. Yes, Shalendra?
Ma'am, as per this article, the evidence shows that human started cooking food around 770 years ago. But ma'am,
Yes.
some some researcher showed that it was 170,000 years ago. But because of the new evidence, it has now been confirmed that humans near northern Israel, near Jordan River, they cooked a huge fish around 7,700 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot longer than
Yeah.
what was thought before. So
Yeah.
that adds 600,000 years to human history with fire
Yeah.
that people didn't know about. So that changes a lot, because if people had fire, there's a lot they could have done. So
Ma'am,
it really changed.
Ma'am, I wonder how beautiful Earth was at that time.
Yeah, it would be fascinating to be able to see. We can only imagine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was very beautiful. No buildings, very quiet.
Yeah.
No noise, no cars.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you for that summary, Shailendra. So let's just think about this first paragraph before we look at the next one. We had some really difficult words here. So previously, assert, ancestor, evidence, definitive, Neanderthals, Homo sapiens, or Homo sapiens, as some people say. Yeah, somebody got that right. So I'm just going to raise it so I can. But yes, well done. I don't know who did that, but that's right. Previously, that's an earlier time. So if you're in the Zoom room, you can feel free to match what you think the meaning is to the words. If you are in the chat, you can just write 1D. So I won't tell you the rest of the answers yet. I'll give you all time to think about it, match it.
Ancestor, F1, ma'am, a family relative further back than a grandparent.
Yeah, fantastic. Exactly. That's right.
Evidence, ma'am, C1, facts or information showing whether a belief or idea is true.
Yeah. Yes, the definitive has been changed. It was different before. So we'll think about that. I'll give you all time to think about it a little bit. We can maybe see the words being used. Mayank, you have your hand up. Do you have a question or something you want to say?
I want to answer 7, that Homo sapiens. I want to give the answer.
Yes, what do you think?
The species
Homo
to which modern humans belong. Humans regarded as a
the
species.
species to which modern humans belong, humans regarded as a species.
Yeah, exactly. So we are Homo sapiens. There was a book with this title, also written by a professor from an Israeli university and a historian. So he wrote about the history of humanity, and he titled it Homo sapiens. I think it was quite a big bestseller. So somebody put Neanderthals. Yeah, they're an extinct species of humans, but we are still related to them. They've not completely died.
Fact of information following whether a belief or idea is true.
So what do you think that is for?
Fourth is G.
4 is G. 4 is G? For evidence?
Yeah.
Not quite.
C, I think C.
E, yeah, because evidence it's not a conclusion or an agreement. Yeah. It's more the information. A conclusion or agreement is something you have to do with somebody else.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody drew in yellow. I think you're matching definitive To state a fact or belief confidently. Okay. It's a bit difficult to think about the difference between assert and definitive. So assert, we can say it's an action, it's a verb here, to assert something. They asserted this. So we can match it to the one that is most
Be,
like
ma'am.
the verbs. Be, yes, well done. So it's be. We state something, we say it, but confidently, that's to assert. If something is definitive, it's been decided. It's a way of describing it. It is definitive because lots of people have decided that this is true or this is something that is agreed. So we can think of definitive more as the adjective, assert as the verb. Okay, does anyone have any questions about these words or the meaning? Okay, great. So let's just see them again, just so you know. So we said previously, before now, before the current time, we've got Neanderthals are the extinct species of humans, so not around anymore. Homo sapiens, the species we belong to. Definitive, decided by a group of people. They've reached a conclusion about information. So it's decided. Ancestors, people who came before us, who are related to us. And assert, they state it confidently. They're certain that the evidence is correct. Okay, would anyone like to read the next paragraph?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Niha, I think you raised your hands first and you spoke, so can you please read?
Lead researcher,
You read Soha. Doesn't matter if you said it.
Soha spent 16 years analyzing ancient fish bones and the enamel found on fish teeth. Her analysis showed that the grilled or baked fish had been eaten 770 millennia ago. She told the AFP news agency that it was like facing a fuss with more and more information until we could make a story about human evolution. She added that her biggest conundrum was to
ascertain
whether or not the fish had been eaten raw and then their bones thrown into the fire, or whether it had been cooked first. She said the whole question about exposure to fire is whether it is about getting rid of remains or a desire to cook. She said the fish were 2-meter long crab that would have been particularly succulent when cooked.
Great, well done, Niha. Some very difficult words there. This is a very confusing word how to pronounce because it has the word certain in it. So why is it not ascertain? Just is one of those things. Ascertain, it just kind of sounds better than ascertain. So ascertain. Okay, great. So we're going to think about the words from this. So we have enamel, evolution, conundrum, ascertain, exposure, and succulent. So we can see here, we've got the word enamel found on the fish teeth. Let's start with that. What do we think enamel? The enamel was found on the fish teeth. So what do we think this means?
It is, ma'am,
ignore this.
The hard glossy substance that covers a tooth.
Yeah. Does everyone agree with that? What do you think? Anyone disagree? Mayank, what do you think enamel means? Do you agree with Shailendra?
That same, ma'am, same answer. The hard glossy
same.
substance that covers a tooth.
Yeah, you're right. It is. Exactly. Okay. What about ancient? So we have ancient. About ancient humans. Someone say something? Okay. So ancient fish bones. They're ancient fish bones. What do we think the word ancient means? You can draw if you want to draw on the screen.
Ma'am, K, belonging to the very distant past and no longer in existence.
Does everyone agree with that? Does anyone disagree? Yeah, Shailendra's right. Okay. So have a go at, if you recognize any of the words, filling them in. Let's see the ones that you maybe are familiar with. Ignore my typos. So have a go. We've got evolution, conundrum, ascertain, exposure, succulent. So the fish would have been succulent if cooked. What do we think? Can you try matching it? You can match it on the screen. Okay, so the pink ones are right.
Ma'am, a certain meaning I want to tell.
Say it again.
A certain meaning. Ma'am, Shailendra had already marked it. It is N. A certain meaning N. Find something out for certain. Make sure of.
Yeah, you're right. Well done.
But Shailendra had already done this.
That's okay. You noticed it. You knew the answer. You thought about it. Well done. Succulent. Yes, we are talking about food. Okay, so somebody has done them all. Does anyone disagree with what's being done on the screen? Okay, yeah, you're right. So, yes, evolution. Sorry, I thought that was to enamel. Evolution, the process by which different kinds of living organisms develop from earlier forms, so changing throughout history. Ascertain, yes, find something out for certain. It's kind of to find something out. It has the word certain in it, we just don't pronounce it like that. Succulent, yes, juicy, tender, tasty, all these things. And a conundrum, a confusing, difficult problem, something that not easy. Exposures to experience. So I think Shashikant mentioned before that modern food has a lot of chemicals on it. You can say modern food is exposed to or has exposure to lots of chemicals. Okay, does anyone have any questions about these words? Okay. See if you can find them. If somebody wants to highlight them, see if you can find the ones on the screen that we did. There was exposure. They see it in the sentence. There was exposure. Yeah, enamel, well done. Ancient, yes. Exposure. Conundrum. Very quick, Shailendra. Well done. Succulent. Yes, very quick. Okay, well done. Great. Okay. Anybody have any questions about this paragraph?
Yes, ma'am. Exposure. How to use it in sentence? Exposure.
You can use it in place of something experiences it, but it's more a physical thing. It's the physical experience of maybe coming into contact with something. So exposure to the sun, exposure to salt, exposure to chemicals, exposure to fire. So we can say something had exposure or something was exposed to something. Does that help, Shashikant? Do you want some example sentences? Okay. So yeah, you can say.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. I have a doubt with one word. Ma'am, a fish were 2 meter long carp. Carp. What does it mean? Carp.
Carp, a type of fish.
Okay. Got it.
Quite a common fish, I think, that people have when
Okay.
they go fishing. But yeah,
Ma'am,
yeah.
puzzle meaning, ma'am? Puzzle.
Puzzle
P-U-Z.
is something.
Ah,
A
yeah,
puzzle
ma'am.
it can be a puzzle pieces that you have to fit together. So like that, sort of fitting things together.
Okay.
Also, or it can be something you have to work out and put the information together to try and see the whole.
Okay.
So yeah, carp, something that would have been common or is common in the river in Jordan. Any other questions? Okay, what about the first
Ma'am,
paragraph?
puzzle same meaning, other word, tell me, ma'am.
Say it again.
Do you have another word? Do you have another word for same word? Tell me, ma'am. Puzzle.
Little bit like conundrum. A conundrum is also quite similar to a puzzle.
Riddle, ma'am, riddle.
Yeah, could be a riddle if we're talking about sort of the word. Yeah, a little bit like a riddle. Something to piece together, something you have to work out.
Okay.
Does that help?
Thank you.
Something difficult that you have to understand and put together. But a puzzle is just, I can just show you a picture of a puzzle. Let me just, that might actually help. Internet.
Maze.
A maze, yeah. A maze is more the physical thing. Well, yeah, you could, but a puzzle is specifically a jigsaw. In America, they say a jigsaw, but
Ma'am, I want to say that we can use puzzle as a confusing word, that we say, I'm puzzled by this.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, exactly. You can use it. So we don't usually say I'm jigsawed, but for this thing, people do say jigsaw or puzzle. But yeah, I'm puzzled. I don't understand something, like a puzzle. So like she says in the article, it was like a puzzle. It was like putting information together instead of pieces.
Okay,
But this is a great.
Okay, understood, ma'am.
Great. Okay. Let me just go back on. Okay, so we've read the article. Let's think about things that are true and false about it. Do we understand? So a team of nutritionists from Tel Aviv University conducted the research. Does someone, Ganga, do you put up your hand? Do you have a question?
No, ma'am. I am read, ma'am.
Okay. So do we think this is true? Is this right or false, wrong? A team of nutritionists from Tel Aviv University conducted the research.
False, man.
False.
Archaeologists.
Why is it false? Archaeologists. Yeah, exactly. They were archaeologists. Can we say what archaeologists are for people who don't know? What are archaeologists?
Ma'am, who deals with
works
ancient
with,
things?
Yeah, exactly. Someone who studies things from the past. Somebody who
Tel Aviv University conducted their research.
Ma'am, there is one more word, anthropologist.
Anthropologists, yeah, people who study ancient humans.
yeah,
Researchers believe we first used fire to cook 970 years ago.
What do you think? Is this true or false?
False.
I think you need the article for this.
770,000 years ago.
Yes, exactly. They assert, so they're pretty certain that they cooked with fire 770,000 years ago, not 970,000 years ago. Well done. What about number 3? Prehistoric humans cooked fish they caught in the Jordan River. Is this true or false?
True, ma'am.
It's true. Yeah, well done. Can you find a sentence or few sentences that say this in the article? How do we know it's true that they cooked it in the fish in the Jordan River? 770,000 years ago. You can highlight, you can underline. Where does it say that they cooked it?
Who lived alongside the banks of the Jordan River in what is present-day northern Israel, used fire to cook the Jewish fish they caught in a nearby lake.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done. Okay, number 4. Scientists originally believed we first cooked 170,000 years ago.
True, ma'am, true.
It's true. Why is it true, Shalendra? Where does it tell us? Can you find it?
Yeah. Ma'am, it is, ma'am, until this, ma'am, last line, ma'am, last statement, until this new discovery, scientists believed the first definitive evidence of cooking was by Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens around 170,000 years ago.
Yeah, fantastic. Number 6, a researcher said number 5. Why do I keep doing that? Researchers analyzed the enamel of fish teeth in their research.
True, ma'am.
True. Does anyone think false?
Ma'am, not fish teeth, ma'am, fish bones. Sorry, false.
It is true.
True.
And we find the information that tells us the enamel on the fish teeth. Where does it tell us what they analyze? So
Enamel.
analyze what they looked at or researched.
Yeah, correct, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. First line, ma'am.
Highlight.
Lead researcher Iris Zohar spent 16 years analyzing ancient fish bones and the enamel found on fish teeth.
So you're right, Challenger, the bones and the teeth. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6. A researcher said her ancient humans boiled their fish.
False.
So did they cook it in water? You
False,
think
ma'am.
false? Does anyone think true?
False.
Okay, everyone agrees. So where is the evidence from the information?
Ma'am, second line, her analysis showed that the grilled or baked fish had been eaten 770,000 years ago.
Yeah, very quick, Chandra. Well done. Yeah, it was either grilled, so either almost directly on the fire, or baked a little bit away from the fire.
Ma'am, I think, ma'am, I was that person who grilled that fish, ma'am, because I also like to eat grilled fish. I have taken, ma'am, second birth.
You have taken?
I have taken, ma'am, another birth, ma'am, I think.
Maybe. Do you grill anything else? You also grill vegetables or only fish?
No, ma'am, I only grill fish, ma'am.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's very tasty. So maybe you're related.
Yeah, because, ma'am, we don't use oil to cook food when we grill or bake. So and because of the smoky, because of the smoke, it tastes more good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it adds that kind of flavor. So yeah, well done. Very quick, Chandra. So yeah, not true. Oopsie, false. Number 7, a researcher tried to figure out if the fish was eaten raw or cooked. Is that what she was?
Yeah,
True. Yeah, that was
It
the
was,
main goal.
And ma'am, it is the conundrum.
Yeah, that's the conundrum. Exactly. That was the puzzle that she was piecing together. All the evidence, all the information, putting it together to answer the question, was it eaten raw or cooked? Well done, Shalendra. And I think Neha said that as well. Number 8, the fish ancient humans ate were up to 2 meters long.
Great, ma'am. Crab fish.
Yes, it was the carp that was up to 2 meters long.
Carp, carp fish.
Maybe less people caught them. There was less fishing, so they had a chance to grow really big. Why was it so big? It's also an interesting thing to think about. Okay, fantastic. So the last thing, here are the words that we looked at. And here are some synonyms. So again, you can match on the screen. So synonyms, words that have a very similar or the same meaning. Yeah, previously, earlier, that was in the definition. Succulent, yeah, juicy, great. Evidence, proof, yeah, great. We talked a lot about conundrum. What do we think? We said the conundrum is like a puzzle. Yeah, or a problem, exactly. Well done, Andrew and Shlendra, it's a problem. So a puzzle, sometimes we can say a problem is a puzzle as well. Exposure, contact with, yeah, it's exactly like using that phrase, contact with. So Shashikant, you said, how can I use the phrase? If you replace exposure with contact with, it's the same. I've had contact with too much sun. Okay, this is when it gets a little bit confusing. So let's highlight so we can see. So previously was right. Assert, yes, maintain, exactly. So using those both as verbs, they maintain, they assert, they're certain about it. They state it in a certain way. Evidence was right. Definitive. I think there are a few answers. Somebody said, can't tell which.
Conclusive. Definitive, conclusive.
Conclusive, yes, that's
Okay.
right. Is that the line? Okay, it's going down there. Okay. Ancient.
Ancient and primitive.
Primitive, yes. Are you the red, Shalendra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so many red lines. Quite hard. Conundrum, problem, that's right. To ascertain, to find out, yes. Exposure, contact with, and succulent, juicy. Well done. Okay, so for those of you, I'm just going to draw the lines again so it's very clear. Neha, do you have a question? You raise your hands.
Actually, I don't have question, but I'm not able to mark the answers from my phone. So I want to ask how everyone is doing using this app by phone.
So it's the people, well, I don't know if they're on their phone, but it's the people directly using the Zoom app. Are you on your phone, Shalendra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, so
I'm using Zoom application. I'm not using Hello Learner app.
yeah, so the Zoom app, yeah. So if you do it through the Zoom app, it should work because then you have the Zoom tools. You have.
It is also available in Hello English app.
It is. You
It
can
is
annotate.
I can see in my phone that one small arrow has shown has made over here of green color, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not able to use this. So please anyone
Click on it and next select that.
No, I have clicked it. I have selected also, but I'm not able to use it. I don't know why, but I'm not able to use.
Check
I have the line.
color. If color is white, then you cannot.
No, I have chosen red color. The line which is showing 6px, but I'm not able to use it.
Yeah, it happens sometimes with me. So I think another class you will able to mark it.
Okay, okay.
And
these two-sided arrow has also been made over here. For what is the use of this arrow? Because blue, can I speak in Hindi one line?
It is for
Yeah, of course.
undo.
मतलब ये undo ना तो उसमें blue color का बन गया वो white की जगह. Hello? Hello?
It's a conundrum.
Can anyone listen to my hello?
Yes, that those arrows for repeat or take back your actions.
But this is showing blue color, and other symbols are showing of white color, and this blue arrow and these arrow are showing of blue color, and it is not getting again white.
No, when you choose any option, it shows you in blue.
Yes, but I haven't chosen choose it, but it's showing of blue color only.
Maybe
don't
you
know.
can try joining through the Zoom app next time, or just try it again. It might work.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So maybe just if it isn't working during the lesson, you can also try and leave and come out. That sometimes work. Those are non-technical advice, but sometimes there just is, it's not working for one lesson or something like that. So
Okay,
maybe just try a different method next.
Okay, ma'am. Next class, I'll see.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope it was useful. Shalendra in the chat mentioned it's England versus France World Cup. Yes. Okay. So if anyone's watching the football, I hope you have a good weekend and enjoy the football games. Yes, Shalendra?
Ma'am, in that match, ma'am, you can speak in both the languages. You can support both the teams. Ma'am, you also speak French and you also speak English.
Yeah, well, I don't have a preference for who wins. It's just interesting to see. But yes, kind of supporting everyone. But if you are watching, have a good weekend. Or if you're watching other sport, I don't know if there's cricket on this weekend. Enjoy. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, almost the end of the week. And I'll be back next Thursday. Does anyone have any last questions before we finish? Okay, great. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and hope to see you soon.